Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabham Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabham Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabham Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabham Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaga Acharya Stotra Shata Isi Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilu Prabhupada Ki Jai Granthharaj Shamad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So continue to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, verse number 29. Pritaham aham astu bhadram te lokanam vijayam Ichhayam Yat Astaushihi Gunamayam Nirgunam Ma Anuvarnayan Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechayam Yatastaushirgunamayam Nirgunam Manuvarnayan Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechayam Yat Astaushirgunamayam Nirgunamanuvarnayan Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechayam Yat Astaushirgunamayam Nirgunamanuvarnayan
Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechaya Yadastaushir Gunamayam Nirgunam Manuvarnayan Pritohamastu Bhadram Te
Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechayam Yatastaushirgunamayam Nirgunamanuvarnayan. Mataji. Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechayam Yatastaushirgunamayam Nirgunamanuvarnayan. Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechayam Yatastaushirgunamayam Nirgunamanuvarnayan. Pritohamastu Bhadram Te Lokanam Vijayechaya Yadastaushirgunamayam Nirgunamanuvarnayam. Pritaha, pleased. Aham, myself. Astu, let it be so. Bhadram, all benediction. Te, unto you. Lokanam, of the planets. Vijayam, for glorification. Ichhayam, by your desire. Yat, that which. Astaushihi, you prayed for. Gunamayam, describing all transcendental qualities. Nirgunam, although I am free from all material qualities. Ma, me, me. Anuvarnayan, nicely describing. Translation and purport His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am very much pleased by your description of me in terms of my transcendental qualities, which appear mundane to the mundaners. I grant you all benedictions in your desire to glorify all the planets by your activities. A pure devotee of the Lord like Brahma, and those in his line of disciple association always desire that the Lord be known all over the universe by each and every one of the living entities. That desire of the devotee is always blessed by the Lord. They impersonally sometimes praise for the mercy of the personality of God in Narayana as the embodiment of material goodness. But such praise do not satisfy the Lord, because He is not thereby glorified in terms of His actual transcendental qualities. The pure devotees of the Lord are always most dear to Him, although He is always kind and merciful to all living entities. Here, the word Gunamayam is significant because it indicates the Lord's possessing transcendental qualities. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shimati Bhakti Vikashi Swami Tinamine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavali Pashticha Dashtirine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadat Hare Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Pritoham astu bhadram te lokanam vijayechhaya yatastau shirgunamayam nirgunam manuvarnayan. I am very much pleased by your descriptions of me in terms of my transcendental qualities, which appear mundane to the mundaners. I grant you all benediction in your desire to glorify all the planets by your activities. So, we should be a pure devotees, because all our process to directly for this purpose, because of all this practice, whatever we have in our sadhana, in our schedule, in our life, it's to elevate our consciousness to platform of pure devotional service. And when we can approach this platform, we can glorify Supreme Personality of Godhead properly, because before that stage, we still have some material propensities, we have some material desires, we have some material understandings, attachments, and because of that, we cannot glorify Lord properly. We can glorify Him, but we can glorify Him partially, and not exactly like it should be done. And because of that, as much we can elevate our consciousness, similarly we can understand the beauty of Lord and glorify Him accordingly. Like recently we spoke about sometimes we can see in the temples when we have seen the deities, and deities sometimes dressed very nicely and very beautiful with garlands and so many flowers and beautiful dress. And sometimes we can see even some devotees, they have their own understanding because of material background. They have some special understanding how we can dress the deities, how we can make some preparations for them. Like we can put some sunglasses, or we can use the jeans. It's of course it's like a big, it's like a very vivid example. But sometimes we can see even some pants, like short pants, and we have some very like a tied like the pants where you can see the legs of the Lord Shri Krishna. It's not exactly like you do something wrong according like for regulative principles. You're not like eating meat, or you don't do something gross things, but still is your own understanding, and this is not exactly what we like with what we should do for the Lord Shri Krishna. So we should try to rectify ourselves and we try to improve ourselves and to remove all these traits of impersonalism, sahajism, ritvikism, like all this. Almost, of course, it's almost is everything is based on impersonalism because we don't want to put a Krishna in the center of our life. Like recently, I heard a lecture given by our spiritual master about impersonalism and egoism. Is a very interesting lecture. Is one of devotee from Atlanta, Krishna Life, he asked Guru Maharaj what to do. I feel myself like a little bit impersonal and egoistic. And Guru Maharaj told, it's not exactly impersonalism like have a philosophical impersonalism, like when you neglect the form of Lord Shri Krishna, but it's like the mood when you don't want to associate with devotees, you want to be like alone, and it's not almost like our mundane understanding of impersonalism is more egoistic, and this is propensity also not good for devotional service, and this is egoistic behavior and like attitude can produce cruelty, because the person who don't want to like associate and make some relationship, any kind of relationship, it's mean he became a little bit cruel. His heart became like a more hard and like a stone, and this is produce the cruelty. And opposite, like Guru Maharaj told, what is the solution for this? You should serve to them. You should cook for them, for example, he told. Because another devotee from Krishna Life, and then at the end of this lecture, Guru Maharaj told, and another, in same day, another devotee from Krishna Life also asked same question. What to do? What to do? I feel myself like impersonal. I feel myself in this mood, like I'm personalist. And he told again, this is very good when you try to serve and try to do some for devotees, especially some service like arrange the books, and you can cook for devotees. It's like a very, very, very practical. And of course, it's very nice to follow all these instructions given by Srila Prabhupada, or the Guru Parampara, or spiritual master. And if you want to rectify yourself from all this the trace of impersonalism, we should perform some austerity. And this austerity, like yesterday, Charan Das Prabhuji told it about 100 years tapasya for the Brahma. This is tapasya is very significant in our practice. And another lecture also, our spiritual master told us the Brahmana also, he live very simple life, and because of that he's top respected. This is term he uses is top respected. Life voluntary poor, so more renounced you are, the better you are supposed to be. You can see they have even gradations of the Brahmanas who living even collect some grains in the field and take some. Is in this top respected. It is like very respected, and this is actually very helpful for spiritual advancement, because you became more renounced, and like Guru Maharaj told, so more renounced you are, the better you are supposed to be. So not like a better in the mundane understanding, it's a better to supposed to be in the spiritual understanding. And because they renounce from everything, and then they can understand, they can stay directly under the guidance of Lord Shri Krishna. And they can understand they depends on Lord Shri Krishna, and because of that they feel their self completely in Krishna consciousness. They don't have another options. If somebody can give them food or dakshina, they can use this, utilize for to maintain the body and arrange some festivals. They can arrange many things. Like Brahmanas, they can give this for the temple also. And if they don't have this, they don't have any problem because of that. So Brahma asked to Lord Shri Vishnu to give them opportunity to not be proud, because when you have some opportunity to manage, you can be proud. And because of that, he asking give me this opportunity to stay to stay aside of these desires, to be like a supreme controller, to be proud in these circumstances. Because it's not everyone can be manager, because you should be qualified. It's not everyone qualified for this. Everyone have some different qualities. But this is who is qualified. They should maintain this consciousness to be not proud in these circumstances. In the same lecture, our spiritual master told about this. Sometimes the people who is manage the temple, or they collecting donation, or perform kirtan, they can be proud because of their activities. And because of this proudness, people they cannot be with them. He told them, even if you do your book distribution like in a big amount, you have like a very, very successful your book distribution, and you collect so much money, and you can manage your temple like very properly, and you can do like kirtan, all these things very, very nicely. But if you have this is propensity for enjoyment, and you have this is propensity to be proud and eager to prestige, this is can distract, like people became not attracted by your activities, and they can become frustrated. And in the same lecture also Guru Maharaj told about sometimes the people became proud even by consult when they consult spiritual master. For example, they can manage some Sanskrit verses, they can manage some researching, they can manage some work for for write the books, and prepare the lectures. And because of that, sometimes the disciple can be they can think that he is like more intelligent than Guru and more smart than Guru, because he is consult Guru in these questions. And this is also Guru Maharaj told that about. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous for disciple to think like this, and you should be very careful with this. And what is the solution? Also, there's a story when spoken by one of disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada was in South India, and I guess it's by Hyderabad, when Mahamsa Swami was there, and Hamsadutta Swami was there, and one more sannyasi was there, I forget the name. 3 of them was there, and 3 of them every time is complain each other. Like they go to Srila Prabhupada, they told Prabhupada, this devotee did like this, another person came like he told they did like this and did like this. And one day 3 of them came simultaneously. It's like they don't have another they don't have some special preparation for this, but it's like by chance, by occasionally, the coincidence. They came in one place, and Srila Prabhupada was in his room, and Srila Prabhupada chant a japa, and then they saw the Prabhupada chanting japa. They don't want to disturb him. They think maybe he can finish his round, and we can ask him about our the questions. And they're thinking what to do. We should chant also. We should wait when Srila Prabhupada finish, and we also can chant. And they also start to chant Hare Krishna, and they chanting. And then Prabhupada look at them, and he told, why you came, what is the question? And they told, no, Prabhupada, we don't have any question. Because of the chanting, they chanting with Srila Prabhupada, and then they understand this is whatever they have problem in their questions in their heads, and their mind is like actually nonsense. And they went out. They told Prabhupada, now we understand everything is good, and then they went. It means we should think about Krishna. We should chant Hare Krishna mantra continuously in our mind, non-stop as much as possible. Like if it's possible, like 24 hours, this will be perfect. But simultaneously, we should not neglect our prescribed duties. It's not like exactly we can chant our rounds and forget about our management and forget about our prescribed duties, because we should simultaneously be in Krishna consciousness because of this chanting of holy name, and be in the mood of remembrance of Shri Krishna. But simultaneously we should fighting like Arjuna. He simultaneously should remember about Shri Krishna, and simultaneously he should fight. Both of them. It's not like you can. Prabhupada gives us a very interesting example. It's not like Arjuna can sit somewhere and think about Krishna and smoking ganja, and Krishna is fighting for him. No, Arjuna should think about Krishna, and simultaneously he should fight. This is our process, and why he should fight? He should fight with this all misunderstandings, whatever we have in our society, especially in impersonalism. Like in Shri Chandrashtakam, they have this is verse number 7. Yesterday, I met one guy. His name 7. He's like a very, very fat and big, and he have a rusty beard, rusty hairs, like very, very big. And I never can imagine like he can take the books. I thinking this is the south side where the people was very proud, and then this was almost empty, and only a few beggars sitting in smoking area and smoking. This is weed. Smell is like a really very horrible and everywhere. And this person takes some burger or something, like eating like this. His fingers was in the ketchup or like this, and his beard also. And I asked him, and I asked him about this the books, and he told, really, you want to give me these books? I told, oh, he will thinking this is like a free or something like this. He told, oh, I want to give you money. I thinking, oh, this he give like $1 or something like this. And he came, okay, I can give only $20. I told, what? Why? What is this? He told, I like Hinduism. I like Lord Shri Krishna. I like Lord Shiva. I like stories about them. I studied so many books about this. It's amazing. Where are you? How I can come and all this? What? It is really, really amazing when people can be attracted by like this message. You cannot understand sometimes by external vision, by their form and their dress, and how they looks like, and which kind of consciousness they have, and which kind of desires they have. So this verse about impersonalism, this Bhagavata Tula Murto Prema Sampatishali, Pratihita Tatavagyo Nya Krita Dvaita Kumbi, Saduditam Tanatushtyam Balisham Brantyam Asyam, Bhuvijayati Vikasu Bhaktipurvo Yatindra. May Bhakti Vikash Swami, the best of sannyasi, be glorious throughout the world. He is rich with love for the incomparable form of the Lord, and he fights against an offense to that form, throwing down the crocodile of impersonalism. He is happy bewilderment of the ignorant. It's mean, you can see as the glorification of bona fide sannyasi, bona fide spiritual master, that he cannot tolerate if somebody can make offense for the form of Lord Shri Krishna, and it's mean he is completely against and throwing down the crocodile of impersonalism. And simultaneously is like a same, you cannot distinguish this, you cannot separate. He is happy with the conclusion of the authorized acharyas and dispels the bewilderment of the ignorant. This means it's like a one, because of you very happy to hear the conclusion of the acharyas, and of course, what is the conclusion? You don't like to tolerate. You cannot tolerate the impersonalism. And the disciple of Guru, he also follow his spiritual master. I want to read few points from Mood and Mission. I start to read, and I was very happy to see also these statements in this book about the mood of genuine disciple. For example, Guru Maharaj wrote his, a devoted disciple of the spiritual master would rather die with the spiritual master than fail to execute the spiritual master's mission. To execute the will of the spiritual master, the disciple should be prepared to lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. You can see this is the qualification of disciple, also given in one of the verses of same chapter in this canto is verse 41. I want to read only the translation. It is the opinion of expert transcendentalists that the ultimate goal of the performing of all traditional good workers, penances, sacrifices, characteristic mystic activities, trances, etc., is to invoke by my satisfaction. It means the disciple and want to satisfy his guru, and the manner like guru told him how he should satisfy Lord Shri Krishna. It means guru he's showing to his disciple how he should acting, what he should do, and because of that, the disciple became empowered. Because of as much he is follow the instructions, as much he can be empowered by the potency of the spiritual master. And you can see this is an example when a devotee can lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. This is the point, because we should understand we are not enjoyers here. We enjoy only one, and we can enjoy him. And we should forget about all our material desires, all our material considerations, and we should to satisfy Lord Shri Krishna through our spiritual master. It's like today I thought about this. Sometimes people they thinking it's very difficult to join brahmacharya ashram because it's very difficult to follow the celibacy, to follow the discipline, to follow the instructions of authorities. But it's difficult if you have so much material attachments. It's like if you have dirty room, and because of your like tamagun or because of your bad behaviors, you don't want to clean this room. But if you clean this room and this room became clean and you maintain this cleanness, you feel satisfaction. Because everything is clean, everything in proper place, and everything like proper working properly, and everything is like all these gadgets, all this facilitation, furniture, everything is properly in your room, and you feel satisfaction because everything is working. You know where is it, and everything is clean. And simultaneously, also when you perform your brahmacharya, if you follow these principles of cleanliness and renunciation and following the instructions, you also feel you're satisfied. It's difficult for the people who thinking how we can maintain the cleanliness in our room. Why we should it's too much, because we should what is the problem? We can put this some pizza here, or we can put some bowl here. We can forget about the clean the room for 3, 4, 5 days, or maybe in weeks. What is wrong with this? Because it's different understanding according to modes of material natures. It means recently also Vishnu-Chit-Prabhu told about this. It's difficult to maintain brahmacharya if you're not in brahmanical platform. We read this in brahmacharya class, I guess. And it's difficult to maintain this consciousness, behavior, if you're not in the platform of brahmana. Of course, sometimes we can imitate so much when you try to be extra, so super sattvic, and you became. It looks like a little bit crazy sometimes when you have some small things and you became mad, why like this? We cannot accept this. Of course, it's accordingly we can gradually elevate our consciousness and gradually be really in this platform of Brahmana understanding. Few more points from this book. In the Christian religion, there are 10 commandments regarding how to become pure. But if you do not follow them and still say that you are a Christian, that is hypocrisy. If you follow the instructions given by God or God's representative, then you are religious. But if you don't follow, simply to say, I am Hindu, I am Christian, I am Muslim, has no meaning. It means sometimes we can claim that ourselves, I am Christian, I am Muslim, I am Hindu, but the point if you claim this statement, it means you should follow, otherwise it has no meaning. Simultaneously, this is Prabhupada give the explanation what is the real disciple. A disciple means one who is always following the orders of the spiritual master. Disciple means who abides by the discipline given by the spiritual master. Who is my disciple? First of all, let him follow strictly the disciplinary rules. So long as one follows the principles, he continues to be my disciple. This is like a 4 statements given by Srila Prabhupada to understand what is the real discipline, what is the real disciple. And then here Guru Maharaj wrote, our spiritual master wrote, to have sentiment for Srila Prabhupada is good, but the real thing is to do that what he says. To say I love Prabhupada is easy, but the test is in following. Remembrance of Srila Prabhupada, love for Srila Prabhupada, praise of Srila Prabhupada, and service to Srila Prabhupada must all be based on being Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, such sentiments will be superficial, hypocritical, and devoid of the potency to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's mission of establishing Krishna consciousness as he gave it as it is. This again and again we can see this is not like a by name, by initiation you became a disciple. Disciple is mean who is a follow the orders or spiritual master, who is can follow the principles strictly, and this is the disciple. It's not like because of or your name now you have initiation and you can stay like for 50 years and is this status of disciple of Srila Prabhupada, but disciples mean who is the follow. And one more statement, the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada is a call to all his followers to be actual, useful disciples, unpretentious and without personal motives, solid, strong, and united in executing his will. By clarifying that Srila Prabhupada wanted, this book should help individual devotees distinguish the useful from the useless among his professed followers and help them mold their lives to be useful to him. It's very quite heavy statement, but the point, all of us, we should remove illusion from our consciousness. We should thinking all this. We came this movement, we came ISKCON, we came Krishna consciousness. Why? We should fulfill the desires of Srila Prabhupada. We should fulfill the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, they have so many statements in this book you can read and read, and this is very tasty and very pleasure for our soul, for our understanding. Became more enlightened, more enthusiastic, because this understanding can remove all these misunderstandings in our consciousness. And another things also I want to read from Srila Prabhupada, on speaking strongly in Srila Prabhupada service, some statements about how we can preach for the people who full of these misunderstandings, like sometimes we have the Mayavadis, the Sahajis, the people who have many misunderstandings in their consciousness, and we should present them Krishna consciousness in proper way and the proper mood. And on speaking strongly can teach us how we can preach. I want to speak today about some points. This chapter 17, criticism, fault finding, and judgmentalism. It's very nice because sometimes the people can, the mundane understanding of people, like a sadhu is or preacher, or he's like very polite and he can tolerate all these things. But actually we cannot tolerate, like you can see this in Yatindrashtakam, the person who read the conclusion of all bona fide acharyas from our desired relaxation, simultaneously he cannot tolerate the crocodile of impersonalism, and he cannot see whatever is going like some people worship Sai Baba. There's this is fat Anna, Amma, and this is so many bogus peoples, and they thinking you cannot criticize me because you are sadhu, like you cannot. I can do whatever you like, whatever I like, but you cannot stop me, and you cannot point out whatever is wrong. But no, sadhu should show pointing, like he should make the points of this, and because for the benefit of all living entities. Like yesterday, I met one Punjabi man with his, I forget how is called this. Sikh, yes, like with turban, and he told actually, whatever you're doing, I am well respect whatever you do, because really you're doing some very important for our society. But I'm not agree with Krishna. I not agree with Krishna because he doing like a bad teaching. He's not follow this is whatever he claim. He by himself he is not follow, and his associates also, like we can see this in the picture when the Dukshasana and Karna try to remove all the sari from Draupadi, and he told how is possible. Why first of all, why they start to play this gambling? Why they start to play this gambling? Why they allow this, all these things and all this? Yes, it's very difficult to understand. He told, I don't want to understand. I don't want to understand. I go, Prabhu, when you last time take meat? He told, what is the problem with meat? Is this not a ban, like not forbidden? Is it not? What is the problem? I go, oh, come on, Prabhu, like this. And he thought, no, it's not forbidden. It's not forbidden. Okay. I told, okay. And he was, and all people is around thinking like, what is going on? He's try to protect his understanding. It's mean they can like criticize everyone, like, but if somebody like try to protect the message, they not agree because their understanding is mundane. This is mundane morality. They don't know what is real, like what is the real dharma, what is the real rules and regulations given by Lord Shri Krishna. And we have also, all of us, we have the big baggage, like a big amount of this misunderstanding. Some of us, of course, have less. Some of us have more. But somehow or other, we have some misunderstandings. Because of that, we are still not pure devotees. Because of that, we still cannot engage our life properly in the devotional service of Lord Shri Krishna. One of these misunderstandings, I want to read a little bit about this. Is yes, it's all the same chapter 17. This is very, very powerful chapter, and everyone who want to understand what is the real criticism, faulting, and judgmentalism can read this and understand. So, non-judgmentalism is often upheld by analogy common in the modern West, and the favorite of some devotees. When you point your finger, there is always three pointing back to you, like this. It's like it's very, very, very famous statement. And the Srila Prabhupada told, a lot of times what happens when we condemn other people is that we are condemning precisely what's wrong with ourselves. That's why it is said that when you point your finger at someone, three fingers of your hand are pointing right back at you. It looks like also very truly and logically. It's also like this. First of all, we should see what is going with us, like what maybe we have all these bad qualities. And our spiritual master gave an explanation regarding this question. In contemporary psychology, such a mindset is called projection, by which hypercritical persons ascribe their own inadequacies to others. This is the redolent of the Sanskrit saying Atmavan Manyate Jagat, thinking everyone else to be like oneself. Even you can see, even Shastra also is mentioned, is not like something new. Yet it would be ridiculous to attribute this supposed syndrome to every person who draws attention to others' errors, as if only those who point out faults are at fault. Certainly it is wrong to criticize that which should not be criticized, but it is also wrong to fail to criticize that which should be criticized. Indeed, the preacher of Krishna consciousness, whom Krishna considers the best of all the people, is obliged to point out defects. It means in general it looks is true, is even in Shastra is mentioned, but it's not every case when you try to point something, it means it's your fault. And this is a story with Giriraj and Prabhupada. Prabhupada told, the position of the preacher is Madhyamadhikari. Therefore, they have to point out, here is a jealous man, envious man, but people do not want it. They say, why are you pointing out? But this is business of the preacher. Otherwise, how will he preach? Giriraj. They want to be artificially the Uttamadhikari, to see everyone as nice. Prabhupada. Yes, everyone is nice except himself. That is Uttamadhikari vision, that everyone is nice. Then you should accept that the preacher is also nice. Why do you find fault with the preacher? Imitation Uttamadhikari will not help. It's a very common statement sometimes, because it's almost at the base of imitation of Uttamadhikari. Of course, we have many explanations of this topic here, but I will read some of them. Actually, non-judgmentalism is an absurd proposition, for no one in this world can live for a moment without constantly evaluating everything that he comes in contact with on or hears about. Absolute non-judgmentalism would require the suspensions of all legal systems that extending a carte blanche to reprobable criminals. Clearly, the line must be drawn somewhere, and to delineate exactly where requires making value judgment. Actually, the plea of non-judgmentalism is actuated by a misconceived sense of fairness born of intellectual and ethical laziness. Certainly, one should be fair to others, but that should be in accordance with the standards of right and wrong prescribed by Shastra, not those of humanists, atheists, and other relativists who, impelled by the Mayavada of not admitting any distinction, recognize no ultimate right or wrong. It means like also this is some kind of Mayavada, because when you don't want to admit any distinctions. And it is a big chapter, but I want to read like one more statement. Can clarify some points. This possesses a dilemma. For fault-finding is directly warned against the Vaishnava Shastras, because it's not good at all to make this fault-fighting. Fault-fighting vitiates the atmosphere within Vaishnava society. It's also true. And who will be inspired if somebody every time have some fault-fighting propensity? Fault-fighting vitiates the atmosphere within Vaishnava society and can swiftly destroy an inspiring devotee's spiritual advancement. It's also, we have experience of this. Thus, all devotees, and especially neophytes, many of whom are particularly prone to this dangerous tendency, need to be gravely cautioned against it. But to overly emphasize non-criticism to the extent of stating that devotees should never, under any circumstances, see wrong in anyone, means to forever keep devotees as blind, unthinking, and thus easily manipulated kanishta adhikaris. On the one hand, devotee has not to find faults in other Vaishnavas, particularly seniors, and on the other hand, they are not to stand by idly and watch speculations and deviations cause defilement of the parampara. Vaishnava etiquette is misunderstood and misapplied, and the principle of not finding faults is overstressed to the extent of violating another essential principle, that of trying to enlighten people who are on a wrong path. It means is against or even Vaishnava etiquette. It's amazing. In our message, this is similar to not trying to prevent a blind man from falling into a ditch on the plea of not interfering with his right to walk wherever he pleases. This is very very clear understanding and very helpful for us to understand the message, because it's again to follow the instructions of Guru, who is get these instructions from his Guru. It can give you empowered. You can be enthusiastic in the devotional service, because when you see the reality very clear. And one more point, and the currently prevalent idea that is wrong to call others wrong is itself wrong. Rather, it is the duty of those who know that is right to inform others that all they are doing is wrong. Those who discharge this duty are liable to be criticized as being egoistic, but actually failure to criticize that which should be criticized is false egoism, for it deviates from the soul's pure function to always adhere to the truth. A round-board, non-critical approach is certainly likely to be better received by insincere people that would the truth which they avoid, but for devotees to persistently neglect to present the truth to non-devotees means acquiescing with the reinforcing the insincerity of the insincere. It's again and again we can see the points that we should distinguish. And the last sentence in this chapter, there is a difference between humility and stupidity, and it is nonsense to laud the kind of passivity that remains undisturbed even amid a rand deviation. There is a difference between humility and stupidity, and you can see this. It's very, very helpful for us, because this is propensity. We have all of us. We have some kind of amount, some kind of amount. We have this propensity to judge, like according to mundane philosophy, mundane understanding. But real devotee, if you want to elevate your consciousness to the level of Madhyamadikari, you should distinguish what is good, what is bad, and it is very helpful for the on our path. So this is the point that when we follow the instructions given by our spiritual master, we have a potency to perform our devotional service in proper way. And like yesterday, Charan Prabhu told about when already it was did previously. You remember when Brahma told, I don't know what to do, and Vishnu told that you did this before. It already was many times we did this before. This is the creation of universes was done so many times. What's wrong with you? Is this every time is same, like in book distribution? You also go for book distribution. You did this as many times before, but every time you should push yourself. Every time you should pray. Every time you should ask the Krishna to give your determination, to give you intelligence, to give your brain to speak with people, to try to convince them, and to take the books, to read these books, to follow these books, to distribute these books. And this is same you can say, because we don't have enough faith to start this is activity, this is duty, whatever is given from the Guru. And because of that, Vishnu is inspired Brahma. What is the problem? You did this before. It's already done many times and previously, and because of that, just do it. Just you can do, and you can see if you doing all this exactly as it is required, everything is going smoothly. Okay, I have a few more points, but we have like 2 minutes. I will read one. Is from our spiritual master lectures. Our Guru Maharaj is called the Varnashrama for the well-being of society. Nandagram, Gokulam, Telangana, India is 2015. It's an interesting point about again our mind, how our mind try to make some excuses about if you have some instructions and already spoken. It's very nice to beat your mind like by instructions. It's not exactly we should beat by shoes or by stick, by these instructions, because our mind every time to deviate, every time we want to make some excuses, but fortunately we have instructions given by our Guru Parampara from the bona fide source, and we can apply all of us and some kind of intents to our life. So this is particular point is called pushing your understanding. So devotee asks, sometimes devotees say that Prabhupada approved of electricity. They quote like this, Bhaktivikar Swami answer him, and we often hear, time, place, circumstances. It helps push your understanding. The first is Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. When a person understood the mission of the Guru and made it his life and soul, then you can take into account the time, place, circumstances. But if one thinks how to compromise with the material energy and talks about the time, place, and circumstances, this is simply cheating. If a person searches, he can always find some excuse for everything. Many years ago in Bangladesh, my god brother used to get up regularly at 8 in the morning. I told him, you cannot do that. Prabhupada asked us to get up at the latest at 4 in the morning. And he replied, Prabhupada also said that his father used to get up late. He found some reason, some excuse not to listen to his guru's order. You can always find some argument for anything, for everything. Adolf Hitler created an entire manifesto that justified the massacre of Jews. Don't think he just said, let's kill the Jews. He had a whole manifesto with arguments and so on. Of course, this is a perversion, but it resonated with many people. Otherwise, we would not have been able to do that he did. By giving this extreme example, I am only pointing out that anything can be justified. We have to see that Srila Prabhupada's intention really is, and it is clear enough. If we care to see, if we don't want to, we don't see. That is why I am writing Srila Prabhupada mission and mood, to make clear that Srila Prabhupada's intention is. It may not be very popular. Of course, will be not so popular. We try to give this knowledge for everyone, but for many, many people, like yesterday, Vishnuchita Prabhu also spoke about this story in this sadhu sangha. But still, you can see the protection of devotees is here, and Krishna every time is here. And if you try to satisfy your spiritual master, if you try to satisfy all the Guru Parampara, Krishna will be pleased. He only told that just fight. You fight, and in the memory, like and keep myself in your mind. Just do whatever I told to you, and don't think about you will be glorious or you will be in a good position. Just do this for me. It means whatever we should to do is not for our sense enjoyment. It's not for our pleasure. This is for pleasure the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. And we have good opportunity to follow all these instructions, beautiful books written by our acharyas, and because of that we also can feel the satisfaction in our life. Okay, if somebody have some questions, commentaries, disagreements, we can have few minutes for that purpose.
Your story about this guy who got a book from you at the airport. One point that Srila Prabhupada made when I was reading in Transcendental Diary, which was a very interesting point, was that Srila Prabhupada said that all religion is foreign. He said people say, oh, I'm American and therefore I'm Christian, or I'm whatever, Middle Eastern, therefore Muslim. But actually all of the religions are foreign.
Yes.
And then Prabhupada made the point, he said, Jesus is not a white man, he's Palestinian. So Prabhupada was making that point because the disciple was trying to explain, this culture is very foreign. Prabhupada said, all culture is foreign. All religion is, culture comes from religion, for the most part, and all of that is foreign. Even political ideas, they are also imported. The Americans took the concept of democracy, or the idea of how they wanted to do is the republic specifically. They took it from the idea of the Romans governed themselves. And so like this, Srila Prabhupada was, he was, and it's a very interesting point because communism in China, for instance, which exists right now, wasn't a Chinese idea. It came from Europe. Lenin, Marxist, and like this. So Prabhupada was saying the same thing, that it is not that Krishna consciousness cannot be accepted. It can be accepted, and we must push that. But it's hard sometimes. We ourselves, it's very difficult. Oh, they will not relate to this, it's foreign. We ourselves feel like that, but actually everything that everybody's doing foreign. So that was a very interesting point. The other point you were reading about judgmentalism I was discussing with Prabhuji yesterday also about how the modern culture. So this is a big topic and can be spoken more.
Yes.
But in the attempt to not be judged, people have become so egoistic and so crazy that they don't want to associate with other people. And therefore, actually living people talk about community. What is community? Community means that 10 people are going to have 10 different opinions.
Yes.
And they'll have opinions about you also. But overall, the point is that living in a community where generally the ideas are shared or common, and we are all together helping each other to achieve a common goal, which in this case is to become Krishna conscious.
Yes.
But that you just try to become individualistic, and people don't want to associate with each other, and this phone has made everything worse. I was on the internet the other day, and this advertisement pops up. It's of an AI app where you can have, and it's specifically targeting the LGBT community. And there's this, AI beautiful dude who's basically saying, you can ask me any questions, you're just curious, there's nothing wrong about it, and this and that, don't feel shy, I'm here to answer. It's AI porn, pretty much. But now it's taking pornography to a whole other level, where now they can feel that they're actually interacting with someone who, the idea is because people are so crazy, they only want to associate with the person that they think they're perfect, and they want that kind of person. And AI generates that. Some illusory, because such a person doesn't exist. In a community, the perfect husband doesn't exist, the perfect wife doesn't exist, the perfect children don't exist, the perfect leader doesn't exist, the perfect cow doesn't exist. Nothing perfect exists. The perfect dog, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
But people are so dumb because they don't want to accept their anarthas.
Yes.
And this whole point, fault finding, don't fault with them, don't criticize. This all encourages this, and what it does lead to is depression, loneliness, suicide. This is what it leads to. And we as a Krishna conscious movement in trying to establish Varnashram farm communities are pushing in the other direction. Where it takes a village to raise a child. It's not even parents just raising the children, you need a community. And it's a lot, you know. And so that's a big topic. But
Srila Prabhupada also told in his commentary in Adya Lila, is very famous when he told about the Gaudiya Math. When Srila Prabhupada gave instructions, you should make this GBC, all these things. But opposite, it was completely opposite. The brothers of Srila Prabhupada, the good brothers, they start to fight each other. And they should be together with like a GBC, but they start to fight each other, and still they have these court cases when they're speaking about which property belongs to him, which is also like very discouraged.
this one just in ISKCON.
Yes, so you can see this also. Even Prabhupada told in this commentary, like our spiritual master gave direct instructions. You should be together in GBC. You should like sit together and like make the solution, all these things. But what you did, you only fighting each other like a dogs. And Prabhupada was like a very heavy in these statements. It's like a very famous purport for the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
I have a small question. Is this book translated in Russian?
I'm speaking strongly. Yes, 2 years ago.
Oh, it's done. Oh, good.
They already translated, and we have some copies.
Anybody else?
Prabhu, you're talking about the importance of renunciation, and you were speaking about a Brahmin can just live off of the grains that lie in the field. So how does that apply to the modern day context? Because you also hear about vanaprasthas,
Yes.
wearing tree bark, not cutting their nails. So how would you say this applies today?
It looks like you have this understanding, and you have this the mood. Is your nature. But in like you can see the example is very bright example of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur when he live in his hut on the bank of the river, and he performed his Shatakoti Namayagya, and he ate only some not salty rice or khichdi, some simple things. But then he used all this the cars and the beautiful dress and have some fancy things. This means he already in this mood, and we can engage, like it's called yukta vairagya. We can use all these things, but the point, you should be satisfied with anything. Like our spiritual master also gave example. Srila Prabhupada, he lived in beautiful apartments in Australia, on the beautiful apartments in Los Angeles, and the beautiful apartments in France. But simultaneously, he can live in how it's in Orissa, Bhuvaneshwar. He lived in a hut and for a few weeks, and he told, I like this. He go to pastool in the field and take shower, snan from the bucket. It's mean you're not attached, It's and you can every time you can see what is your real level of renunciation, what is your level of renouncement, and it's mean every time you can see if somebody can tell you you should go for airport for book distribution, and immediately my desire like why not Sovidha? Why not Sovidha? I have better to go to Vidha to distribute at least one Bhagavatam, 2 Bhagavatam, like at least we can distribute. Even if it's Sunday or Sunday, at least you can give ask some donation. You can some saptas. How much I can distribute in the airport? I can distribute 20 bhakta stacks, maybe 25 maximum. Why you not agree? but in the perspective, is good because like we can still distribute the Bhakta texts and Bhagavad Gitas for the people who don't know about this. It's not like a Hindu who already like we know, but they really have so many books, and they even in this same Patel brothers and then same Savitha, they already months ago give donation, 1 year ago give donation. They have all this. Not of course like some new people also is there, but is in the long perspective we should think about this the local population who is nearby and who don't know about Shri Krishna, and also good for you. It's not like a sense enjoyment with homies like there's a Telugu like oh Prabhu Bagunara, and this. It's very difficult sometimes, especially when you go to south side. It's difficult to control your mind, but not so much people, and they very proud because they paid much more than another people for the ticket, and difficult to speak with them. But it's good for you. You can understand. Oh, now for next 8 hours I should sacrifice. I should do this. It's not enjoyment. How much you renounce from the scores, how much you renounce from the fruits of this yagya, and sometimes you can have simple food, like so much we can travel with Janu, and every day, exactly same amount of spices, vegetables, and rice and dal, and no khichdi. And the only difference we have dahi or we don't have a dahi. We have yogurt or we don't have yogurt. This is the difference. We have a time to go, and we should stay some parking lot, and in the middle of night somebody knock your door. Get out! Like, you cannot stay here, and you should find another place, and you should go and try to. And then from this place, somebody also can kick out you, and it's like you can see what your mind can tell you in this moment. Why we cannot go to a hotel and we pay something $60 for the night and take a shower properly? It's only $60. You can ask donation again from Indians. What is the problem, Prabhu? We don't have a place to stay. We can you give some donation? We can arrange, or you can accommodate us. We can ask. It's no problem. But still, we're sleeping in the car, and people also they can Guru Maharaj, they stop respected. Their renunciation is stop respected. Once we was in Melbourne. This is yoga convention. I was in some Indian store because we have very slow in this convention, and Janardhan Krishna Prabhu stayed in this convention, and me and Charan, we try to find another spot because for three of us it's too much and stay in one spot. And we came, one shop is another shop is completely empty, and I asked where we can go, and the owner of the shop told, okay, you can go this Indian fest. And another person was nearby. He told, oh, where you stay? He told, we're staying in this van. I go, how you can take a shower, or how you can sleep, and this is very hot, and you don't have an. He told, no problem, we can arrange some. And he told, you can stay in my house. I have 4 rooms. You can stay peacefully, take a shower, wash your clothes, all these things. He also was he was crazy, of course. This person was extremely crazy. When we came to his house, he told, this is one room, this is a second room, this is a third room, but one of you should sleep with me. Oh, Krishna. He was 83 years old guy. Oh. So Prabhu, we can stay in one room, no problem. No. You cannot stay in one room because it is too much. When there's too much people in one room, one people can sleep here, and one can sleep with me. We can, Prabhu, okay, we can wash our clothes, we can take this coconut water, but we can sleep in our van, no problem. At least we have a place for parking, because at least it's difficult to find a place for parking. Even the security will come, police will come. We put our car in his parking place nearby his house, and 4 o'clock we start to go find place for passing stool and taking snan, and then chanting japa. But people is still like they, of course, they have their own still understanding how they can enjoy themselves, maybe in this way and another way. But still, people appreciate it. In India, especially, the people they can see the brahmacharis, they're doing for book distribution day after day under the sun. All this is crossroads and signals. And some people are really very respectful, even they asking like, "Oh, Prabhu, you don't ask them about the coconut water that they want to give you. They want to give some dakshina for you. They can see, I saw you from morning, you doing good distribution, this." Still, yes, it's 9 o'clock. It means this is the renunciation should be inside, and we can judge ourselves what is the real level of our renunciation. Every day we can see. Okay, what something from Mataji's side? Oh, one question maybe.
Just quick question. How should we respond to newcomers when they're expressing their criticisms of devotees?
What?
How should we respond to newcomers when they're expressing their criticisms of devotees?
Last sentence. How?
People are coming.
Uh-huh.
Someone comes new,
Uh.
and they see a fault in a devotee.
Fault?
They're criticizing.
Ah.
Newcomers are criticizing devotees.
Mm.
So what should we say?
Newcomers criticize devotees? Why?
Even if devotee is at fault.
Mm.
Yeah, karma.
They coming? Some newcomers coming?
Yeah, somebody new comes,
Uh-huh.
they associate with the devotees, and they have bad things to say about the devotees.
Why?
It happens. Even if the devotee may be at fault for something. But still, what should the approach be? This is someone completely new to Krishna consciousness, and they're criticizing devotees.
Oh, no, but it's again this for devotees who want to start their spiritual life will be very dangerous. We should tell them, because you cannot see immediately the full picture. You cannot see what is going on, why this came, and you cannot judge immediately for like a 1 day or 1 minute. You can see the devotee. And also you can ask like humbly, like you can humble like Prabhu, Mata, I have like humble request. Can you explain me? Because I cannot understand. I read in your books it should be like this, but whatever I saw is not like this. Maybe you can explain me because of my understanding. This is like a very protected position, because otherwise this is the propensity to find the faults. We have, all of us, we have these things, and you can immediately, if you immediately make some judgment, it may be completely wrong. And if it's right, you cannot acting against the etiquette. It's very difficult. This is a very tiny line, but for the beginners, it's better to speak with with senior devotees, with friends. Otherwise, this is also can produce the wrong understanding. If you criticize someone, if you're thinking this is wrong, and you don't speak about this understanding with someone, you can be fixed in this understanding. You can just accumulate, like increase, and what happened? You can leave even not the society. You can leave the Krishna consciousness. Mm-hmm. You can thinking, oh, this is all like all of us. We have many examples of devotees who not agree what is going on in front of him in the society, and because of that he come back to his previous life. Even his previous life is completely animalistic. But
Say Prabhupada responds to criticism by a non-devotee in Science of Self-Realization. For book distributors, Prabhupada is a
okay.
There's a letter that Prabhupada, it's to book distributors, I think, yeah.
Jai. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
That's sweet, because I've been wanting to reread Science of Self-Realization. I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, I need to reread. I'm so sorry. You said what?